Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥.
Good evening, aspirants. Welcome to the Hindu news analysis discussion brought to you by ForumIAS for the date 29th of July 2023. These are the list of news articles for today's discussion. We will be covering 5 topics from governance, science and tech, a topic from polity and environment. Alongside this, we will also be covering 2 previous year prelims questions at the end of the discussion. So with this, straight away, let us move to our first article of the day. First topic, Modi says India can become hub of chip making industry. See, recently Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India would soon emerge as a global hub of semiconductor and chip making industry. So in this context, let us know about the current semiconductor manufacturing in India, its significance as well as the challenges. Alongside this news, recently 2 important events happened in the context of India's semiconductor program. First was the withdrawal of Foxconn from the joint venture with Vedanta. The second event was Micron's recent announcement to invest nearly $825 million in chip testing and packaging facility in India. These developments showcase the opportunities and challenges facing India's semiconductor program. Firstly, let us know why there is a global race to diversify semiconductor supply chains. See, as of now, chip manufacturing is concentrated in very few countries. For example, Taiwan produces over 60% of the world's semiconductor. And along with that, South Korea makes 100% of the most advanced chips. Also, the semiconductor industry experienced significant supply shortages during the pandemic due to certain disruptions in China's production. Additionally, the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict resulted in another round of shortage as Ukraine plays a critical role as key supplier of neon. Neon is the one which is an essential input in semiconductor manufacturing. In addition to all these, the European Union and United States have refused to sell advanced manufacturing equipments to China. In retaliation, China also imposed export controls on crucial inputs such as gallium and germanium. This may lead to another potential round of shortages in the semiconductor industry. Therefore, many countries are looking to diversify their supply chain. In that line only, India is also taking efforts now. Now let us know what are the government's initiative for making India a semiconductor manufacturing hub. Firstly, the government has approved the Semicon India program with an financial outlay of rupees 76,000 crores. This is for the development of semiconductor and display manufacturing ecosystem in the country. Then know that this Semicon India program has been further modified due to 2 reasons. First is the aggressive incentives offered by countries that already have established a semiconductor ecosystem. Then there are only limited number of countries owning the advanced technologies. So keeping those things in mind, this program has been modified. Know that this modified program aims to provide financial support to companies investing in semiconductors, design manufacturing and design ecosystem. Thereby, this is expected to pave the way for India's growing presence in the global electronic value chains. Following this scheme, certain other schemes have also been implemented. Another scheme is the modified scheme for setting up of semiconductor fabs in India. This scheme aims for attracting large investments for setting up semiconductor wafer fabrication facilities. This scheme extends a financial support of 50% of the project cost for setting up CMOS, which is nothing but the silicon complementary metal oxide semiconductor based semiconductor fabrications. Then the next scheme is the modified scheme for setting up of compound semiconductors, silicon photonics, sensor fabs and many other things like that. This scheme extends a financial support of 50% of the capital expenditure for setting up of production facilities in India. And know that it covers production of semiconductor types other than the CMOS, which is covered in the modified scheme of setting up of semiconductor fabs. Then the next scheme is the Semicon India Future Design Linked Incentive Scheme. This scheme offers financial incentives, design infrastructure support across various stages of development and deployment of semiconductor design. This scheme also provides product design linked incentive and deployment linked incentive. Then as a institutional mechanism, we have India Semiconductor Mission. See, ISM, which is the India Semiconductor Mission, has been set up as an independent business division within the Digital India Corporation. And note that Digital India Corporation is a not-for-profit company which is under the MeitY, that is the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, under the Companies Act of 2013. And if we take the mandate of the ICM, it has all administrative and financial powers, and it is also tasked with the responsibility of promoting India's semiconductor ecosystem. It is also the nodal agency for the scheme approved under the Semicon India program. And then if we take the composition of ISM, it has an advisory board consisting of some of leading global experts in the field of semiconductors. Now let us see what are the challenges associated with the semiconductor manufacturing. See, firstly, semiconductor manufacturing is a very complex and technology intensive sector. Also, it needs huge capital investments which has high risk, long gestation and payback periods. And this sector also undergoes rapid changes in technology. These require significant and sustained investments. Also, chip manufacturers require a huge scale to be cost effective. This means large investments, often in the range of $20 billion. Additionally, developing an ecosystem for chip manufacturing in a greenfield location is a major challenge because it requires suitable infrastructure like availability of uninterrupted power, huge quantities of clean water, then to set up expensive water purification facilities and all that. Alongside this, hundreds of chemicals and gases are also required for chip fabrication. So this is said to be one of the challenge here. Thirdly, semiconductors have a small freight to price ratio and zero custom duty. This is under the Information Technology Agreement 1996. Therefore, the location of raw materials or sales market is meaningless because of low transportation cost. Hence, this facilitates concentration of production in few countries where the semiconductor manufacturing ecosystem have already been established. Then the another challenge is the high-end chip manufacturing, which requires sophisticated technologies and which very few corporations possess. Moreover, since such chips are considered dual-use technology, that is, they could be used for civilian as well as military purposes, countries can place curbs on their exports, as the United States and Netherlands have done. Recently, Netherlands also restricted exports of advanced semiconductor equipment because of its dual-use technology. So, as a conclusion, we can say India should remain focused on the semiconductor manufacturing due to its strategic importance. And moreover, it will also significantly impact India's future geo-economics and geopolitics. But it may have to reset, that is, India has to reset the timelines and review its policies to attract another round of proposals and investments. So that is what it is all about. And from this news, we saw about the Government of India's initiative with respect to the semiconductor manufacturing, the challenges associated with it, and the way forward. So with this, let us close this news article here and move to the second topic. Second topic, 2 health bills passed without debate in Lok Sabha. Recently, the Lok Sabha passed 2 key health bills. One is the National Nursing and Midwifery Commission Bill 2023. The second one is the National Dental Commission Bill 2023. So let us cover this from mains angle. See, let us first take the National Nursing and Midwifery Commission Bill of 2023. This was introduced in Lok Sabha this month only and it got passed. Know that it repeals the Indian Nursing Council Act of 1947, and the bill provides for regulation and maintenance of education and service standards for nursing and midwifery professionals. Now let us see the key features of the bill. First is the National Nursing and Midwifery Commission. The bill provides for the constitution of National Nursing and Midwifery Commission This commission will consist of 29 members, and the chairperson should have the PG degree in nursing and should have at least 20 years of field experience. Then there is ex officio members who are the representatives from Department of Health and Family Welfare, National Medical Commission, and representatives from Directorate General of Health Services, etc. Other members includes nursing and midwifery professionals, and one representative is also included from charitable institutions. So now if you take the functions of the commission, it includes like framing policies, regulating standards for nursing and midwifery education. Then another function includes providing a uniform process for admission into nursing and midwifery institutions. Then the third function is to regulate nursing and midwifery institutions. Fourthly, this commission will provide standards for faculty in teaching institutions. Then this bill also establishes 3 autonomous boards such as the Nursing and Midwifery UG and PG Education Board, then the Nursing and Midwifery Assessment and Rating Board. Then another board is the Nursing and Midwifery Ethics and Registration Board. If you take the first one, that is the Nursing and Midwifery UG and PG Education Board, they regulate the education and examinations at the PG and UG levels. Then if we take the Assessment and Rating Boards, this board provides the framework for assessing and rating nursing and midwifery institutions. Then if we take the Ethics and Registration Board, they regulate professional conduct and promote ethics in the profession of nursing and midwifery. Then the next provision is with respect to state nursing and midwifery commissions. The bill says every state government must constitute a state nursing and midwifery commission, and the compositions and the qualification of the members is also provided in the bill, which is not much important from the exam point of view. Then know that in the matters of establishment of nursing or midwifery institution, it says permission of the Assessment and Rating Board would be needed before establishing any nursing and midwifery institutions. And moreover, even to increase the number of seats or to start any new PG course in nursing institution, permission of the Assessment and Rating Board is necessary. Then finally, it also talks about the Advisory Council. The central government will also establish the Nursing and Midwifery Advisory Council. The chairperson of the National Commission will be the chairperson of the council. Then other members includes representatives from states and union territories, then representation from Ministry of Ayush, UGC, etc. The main purpose of this council is to provide advice and support to the National Commission in matters concerning the nursing and midwifery education. So that is all about the bill. Now if we take the National Dental Commission Bill 2023, same provisions as listed here will be applied to the dental education as well. Okay, so let us see that one by one. Firstly, know that the bill repeals the Dentist Act of 1948 and it constitutes National Dental Commission, Dental Advisory Council, 3 autonomous boards similar to the Nursing and Midwifery Commission. First, let us see about the National Dental Commission. The central government is required to constitute National Dental Commission consisting of 33 members, and it will be chaired by an eminent and experienced dentist. The chairperson will be appointed by the central government based on the recommendations of a search cum selection committee. Then this commission will also have ex officio members who are the presidents of 3 autonomous boards, then the Director General of Health Services, then Chief of the Center of AIMS will also be ex officio members of the commission. Then if we take the functions of the commission, it includes like regulating governance standards, regulating dental institutions and research, then assessing the infrastructure requirements, etc. Then similar to the provisions in National Nursing and Midwifery Commission, this National Dental Commission Bill also establishes 3 autonomous boards. First is the UG and PG Dental Education Board, which is responsible for determining the education standards of UG and PG. Then the second board is the Dental Assessment and Rating Board, which is responsible for determining compliance assessment and granting permission to establish any new institutions. Then the third board is the Ethics and Dental Registration Board, which will maintain online register of dentists, dental auxiliaries, cancelling licenses, then regulates the standards of conduct, ethics and scope of the practice. Similar to the nursing bill, establishing a new dental institution would require prior permission of the assessment and rating board. Then know that within 1 year of the enactment of the act, state governments are required to institute state dental councils. This council will be required to solve grievances related to professional or ethical misconduct. Then another important provision is with regard to entrance examination. Here, admission to the Bachelor of Dental Surgery course will be done through NEET examination. Also, it says the commission will specify the manner of conducting common counselling for UG and PG admission. Then if we take the Dental Advisory Council, the central government is required to constitute a Dental Advisory Council to advise the commission on education, training, research standards, etc. Similar to the previous case, the council will be chaired by the chairperson of National Dental Commission, and there will be ex officio members who will be the ex officio members of the National Commission. So that is all about the bill here. So from this news article we saw about the National Nursing and Midwifery Commission's bill and the National Dental Commission bill of 2023. So these are important provisions of two bills that were recently passed in the Lok Sabha. Now let us move to the next article. Third topic, no proposal to amend anti-defection law. Recently, Union Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal told the Lok Sabha that there was no proposal to amend the anti-defection law. Also, you have to know at the meeting of presiding officers, which was chaired by the Lok Sabha Speaker last year, no consensus could be reached on amending the anti-defection law. So, from this context, let us know about anti-defection law. See, 10th schedule of the Constitution, commonly known as the anti-defection law, was introduced in the year 1985 by the 52nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Firstly, know the definition of defection. See, defection is defined as to abandon a position or association, often to join opposing group. This anti-defection law that we are talking about was enacted to ensure that a party member does not violate the mandate of the party. In case he or she does, he will lose his membership to the lose the membership of the house. And know that the law applies to both Parliament and the state assemblies. This provides for presiding officer of the legislature to disqualify any defector based on the petition given by the member of the legislature. Now let us see the grounds for disqualification. There are 4 occasions when a legislator can be disqualified. The first ground is when a member voluntarily gives up membership of the party on whose symbol he or she got elected. Then second ground is that when a member violating a direction issued by his party to vote in a particular way or abstains from voting will also be disqualified. Then the third ground is when a member who is independently elected joins any political party. Then the fourth ground is when a nominated member joins a political party after the end of 6 months of becoming a part of legislature. It also states that anyone disqualified under the 10th schedule would also be automatically disqualified from a ministerial post. However, there are certain exceptions. Under the paragraph 4 of the 10th schedule, disqualification on account of defection will not apply in case of a merger of one party with the another. But a valid merger occurs when 2/3 of the party's total elected strength agrees to the merger. Only then they will escape from the disqualification. Now let us see why are their calls to scrap the anti-defection law. First is that the law has failed to curb defection in recent years and lacks any deterrence effect on the legislators. Further, re-election in by-polls shows public acceptance of defecting legislators. Second criticism is that anti-defection law exempts disqualification when there is splits in the political parties. That is, it facilitated defection by groups. In other words, it is said that the present law forbids individual defections but facilitates group defections. Third factor is that the MPs or MLAs are supposed to act as per the party's command and not by their own judgment. This undermines the representative democracy as they are unable to put forward the demands of the people. Fourth factor is the scope of defection is very wide as it is applicable on every legislation. It is also applicable to the members of Rajya Sabha and legislative councils which don't have a say in the stability of the government. So these are certain criticisms which are mentioned against the anti-defection law. Now let us see the what should be the approach going forward. First is that the Supreme Court needs to adjudicate whether an actual merger of political party is a condition precedent for the merger of legislative parties. That is, should the merger of legislature party be deemed as a merger of political party. Second is that the speaker or chairperson should be given time period within which they have to take the decision with regard to anti-defection law. This is also advised by the Supreme Court. Further, an independent tribunal can be created in the long run to decide cases under the 10th schedule. This would be effective and it would reduce the partition role that is played by the speaker. Third factor is that the Law Commission in the year 1999 and the National Commission to review the working of the Constitution has recommended to delete the clause related to merger. Parliament should consider, debate and decide on the recommendations. Then fourthly, the Dinesh Goswami Committee report recommended that disqualification of a member should only be attracted in significant events, like if a member violates a whip on matters related to motion of no confidence, or at the time of motion of vote of confidence, money bill, motion of vote of thanks to President's address, then at that times a disqualification provision could be utilized. As a conclusion, we can say Parliament must reconsider the clause related to the whip to ensure that right to freedom of speech of the members of legislature is not impacted. So that is all about the article. Fourth topic, NGT panel for regulating tourist influx at Mussoorie. See, NGT constituted a panel in the wake of Joshimath land subsidence crisis, and the panel was appointed to study the carrying capacity of Mussoorie. Now, the recent news is that the panel has recommended regulating heavy tourist influx in Mussoorie and charging the visitors and using that fund for managing waste and cleanliness in the town. So from this news, let us know about NGT from prelims angle. See, the National Green Tribunal came into existence in the year 2010 under the National Green Tribunal Act of 2010. This act provides for effective and expeditious disposal of cases relating to environmental protection and conservation of forest and other natural resources. Know that the tribunal is guided by the principle of natural justice and they are not bound by the code of civil procedure and all. Then the tribunal is mandated to dispose of applications or appeals within the 6-month time period. If you take the composition, the tribunal consists of chairperson, judicial members and expert members also. They shall hold office for a period of 5 years and know that they are not eligible for any reappointment. Another matter of fact is that the chairperson is appointed by the central government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, while the judicial member are appointed on recommendation of the selection committee. Now, if we take the qualifications, the chairperson is a person who is or has been the judge of Supreme Court, or they should have been the Chief Justice of High Court. Then in case of judicial member, the qualification is that a person who is or has been the judge of High Court. Then if we take the expert member, the qualification and experience in relevant scientific, technological field or practical experience in dealing with the environmental matters is the qualification. And now if we take the jurisdiction, the NGT deals with civil cases under the 7 laws related to environment. The first is the Water Act of 1974, the Water Cess Act of 1977, the Forest Conservation Act of 1980, fourth act is the Air Act of 1981, then Environment Act 1986, then the Public Liability Insurance Act, then finally the Biological Diversity Act of 2002. But note that the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 and the Scheduled Tribes and Traditional Forest Dwellers Act, which is also known as Forest Rights Act have been kept out of NGT's jurisdiction. I am telling it again, the Wildlife Protection Act and the Forest Rights Act of 2006 does not come under the NGT's jurisdiction. So that is all about the topic here. So from this topic we saw about the NGT from prelims angle and also regarding its jurisdiction. So with this, let us close this news article here. Coming to the final topic, charting the path for 16th Finance Commission. See, the 16th Finance Commission is going to be set up in the near future. We have to know many critical changes have taken place since the constitution of 15th Finance Commission. It includes events like COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent geopolitical challenges. As a result, the combined government debt to GDP ratio had also shot up close to 90% by the end of 2020 to 21 fiscal year. And many states show large fiscal imbalances too. Considering all these, the authors are analyzing the present situation and they provide certain recommendations to address the problem. Let us see that one by one. In the first para, that is covering the vertical and horizontal dimensions part, they highlight that the 14th Finance Commission had raised the share of states in the divisible pool of central taxes from 32% to 42%. This you all might have known. Later on, this was revised to 41% in the based on the recommendation of the 15th Finance Commission when the number of states in India was reduced to 28 because Jammu Kashmir was divided and it also became a union territory. So 15th Finance Commission suggested to reduce the state's share to 41%. The authors say that the central government could manage the situation of raising debt and all because the planning commission got abolished now and now there is no planning commission grant and all. No. So that is why they say the center could manage the situation of raising debt. And secondly, the authors believe 16th Finance Commission might not recommend any further increase in the state's share of central taxes. This is by considering the center's large fiscal imbalances. Even if there is no increase in state's share, the authors recommend re-examination of cesses and surcharges that are non-shareable with the states. They say this because during the year 2020 to 2023 to 24 budget period, the effective share of states in the center's gross tax revenue averaged close to 31% only. This is significantly lower than the corresponding share of 35% during the years 2015 to 2020. The reason behind this is the increase in share of cesses and surcharges to 18.5% of center's gross tax revenue during the same period. As a solution, the authors suggest to freeze the share of cesses and surcharge to some basic number. Perhaps they tell 10% upper limit of the share of cesses and surcharges as a percentage of center's gross tax revenue may be recommended. Second issue they put forward is regarding the GST. In recent years, there has been poor performance of goods and services tax and there is also consequent decline in the total divisible pool. So they say GST still needs restructuring to make it good and simple tax. See, we have studied multiple times, right? The share of individual states in the center's divisible pool of taxes is determined based on certain indicators. It includes population, per capita income, area, incentive related factors such as forest cover and demographic change. In the case of per capita income, it is the distance of states' per capita income from a benchmark. Usually the benchmark is kept at the average per capita income of the top 3 states that are used as determining factor. At present, this per capita income has been given the highest weightage of 45%. This distance criterion implies a relatively larger share for relatively lower income states. Here, to balance the demands of both the richer and the poorer states, the author suggests to freeze the weightage given to the distance criterion at the current level or even reduce it to 40%. But they say there has to be some upward adjustment in the resources so that the resources are transferred to poorer states. like making use of grants to provide resources to poorer states. Finally, the author suggests that provisions of education and health services should be prioritized in the overall scheme of resource transfers. To be precise, they say the transfer of resources to individual states should be guided by equalization principle using limited number of criteria like population, area and distance, etc. Then if we take the debt to GDP ratio, we know, right, the fiscal responsibility and budget management sets a norm of 40% for the center and 20% for the state in the 2018 amendment. But by the year 2021, the center's debt to GDP ratio was 58%, and if you take the state, it went to around 31%. So to provide greater flexibility, they say FRBM needs to be re-examined. Then in the final paragraph, the opinion talks about the loan council, which was recommended by the 12th Finance Commission. This council will oversee the loan magnitudes and profiles of the central and state governments. Then finally, the author recommends that 16th Finance Commission should examine the subject of non-merit subsidies in detail to bring rationality in the economic decisions of the government. So these are the recommendations which are suggested by the authors in the opinion page. So that is all about the article here. Now let us close the news article discussion and move to the previous year prelims questions discussion. Coming to the previous year prelims question, this question was asked in the year 2018. Which one of the following best describes the term merchant discount rate sometimes seen in news? Options given are: option A, the incentive given by a bank to a merchant for accepting payments through debit cards pertaining to that bank. Option B, the amount paid back by banks to their customers when they use debit cards for financial transactions for purchasing goods or services. Option C, the charge to a merchant by a bank for accepting payments from his customers through the bank's debit card. Option D, the incentive given by government to merchants for promoting digital payment by their customers through point of sale machines and debit cards. See, merchant discount rate is a fee which is charged by a bank from a merchant for accepting payments from merchant's customer through credit and debit cards in their establishments. So the answer for this question is option C. The merchant discount rate also compensates the card issuing bank, the lender, which puts the POS terminal and payment gateways such as MasterCard or Visa for their services. So we can say MDR charges are usually shared in pre-agreed proportions between the bank and the merchant and is expressed in the percentage of transaction amount. So it is a charge to a merchant imposed by banks for accepting payments from merchants' customers through banks' debit card is the answer. Now coming to the second question, Rule of Law Index is released by which of the following? The options given are: option A, Amnesty International; option B, International Court of Justice; option C, the Office of UN Commissioner for Human Rights; option D, World Justice Project. This is a fact-based question. The answer for this question is option D, World Justice Project. The World Justice Project Rule of Law Index measures how the rule of law is experienced and perceived by the general public across the globe, and it is the world's leading source for original independent data on rule of law. So the answer for this question is option D, World Justice Project. With this, we have come to the end of news articles and previous year questions discussion. With this, let us wind up the discussion here. If you like the video and if you can understand the concepts well, please give like, share, comment and subscribe to ForumIAS Academy in various social media platforms for further updates. Thank you for listening.